Since I always talk about game design, why don't we end the interseasonal with a game review? Though as far as I know, the next season shouldn't be that terrible. This will probably be the only time I get to talk about something other than anime in the near future. Maybe next time I'll ask my employers to give me some of modern western seasonals. This would also be something fun to do. But anyway, I recently both played, as far as I cared anyway, and watched others play Severance Blade of Darkness, a 2001 action game that apparently has a cult following because it's hard and because it has a very cool battle system. It's certainly not for the graphics, let me tell you. In the time when we had things like Max Payne, Red Faction, Ico, and Devil May Cry comes this fucking thing you should see on the screen, like god damn. But I digress. The plot. In a typical Zoroastrian Middle East, an ancient evil rises, and our cast of 4 characters have to search for a magical sword to then promptly shove it into Big Bad's nether regions. These characters are a knight from D&D, a barbarian from D&D, an Amazon from D&D, and a dwarf who was designed specifically for people who don't feel anything from their game unless their genitals are being hammered by hairy midgets from Senegal. The biggest reason why people generally like this game is because of its combat system and because of its difficulty. The latter is apparently why this game failed to sell well initially, but honestly speaking, I don't have functional hands and I still managed to play it until the last level without any problem. The main reason why it's difficult is not in the enemies, their movement is predictable and easy to learn, but rather because the controls were made for potatoes by potatoes. You can effectively move only in 2 directions, forward and backwards, with left and right buttons turning you on the spot, which means that you navigate the levels with the graciousness of a goat stuck in a cramped living room. Admittedly, you get used to such control scheme pretty fast. Heck, it's miles better compared to what Gothic had, but what you never get used to is how jumping mechanics work in the game. Press right mouse button near the ledge to pull yourself up. Yeah, only that button is also your general jump, so you have equal probability of climbing up a ledge or hump the wall, or as it was in my case, jump into lava with characters' limbs going in weird directions. The combat is also nothing too fancy or specific. On a 1 to 10 scale of autism, I would rate it somewhere with Dark Souls, but not really GTA levels of easiness. The system is intuitive. You have an attack, but if you press attack and a movement button, the character performs a different attack. Press more buttons in a row and he performs a combo that one-shots most enemies of your level. All attacks drain your stamina. It's a fun system to experiment with if you're into that sort of thing, but you'll quickly realize that all of these fancy tricks work only on the most weakest enemies in the game, and once you get to orcs from Warcraft and Lord of the Rings, you'll either start mashing the one-hit combo or find the most spammable attack and use it until one of you drops dead. And unfortunately, these are the only good things about the game, while the rest of it is, shall we generously say, bollocks. The level design varies from overly simple to where the fuck am I even in the latter parts of the game. The camera usually serves its purpose well enough until you play it for more than half an hour and realize that it bobs up and down when you run and left and right when you walk, and has a tendency to freak out when switching between enemies, which in turn makes you seasick from prolonged plays. The enemies have little variety, and the only difficult part about them is that they can kill you in 2-4 hits, while you kill them in 5-6, and there's usually at least 2 of them, and God help you if there's more than 2 of them, then they gang up on you, and since the bodies are still considered to be an object in its death animation, not once I came too close to the enemy dying and was stuck in it, giving his buddy 1-2 free hits, provided that AI was not being silly and running circles around me. They also can cancel your combos while you can't cancel theirs, which means that not once you'll have a situation where the enemy breaks your long and arduous attack animation and the game registers it as an attack while not damaging shit, which makes your character stand still like a dunce while the enemy murders you in 3 unblockable hits, except the parts when the game forgets about that and you jump and attack with 0 stamina to boot. Also, the characters have a specific weapon preference, and was clearly designed with Knight in mind, as not only he has the biggest amount of weaponry in the game, but also he is the only one that can use the fucking sword we spent the entirety of the game looking for. Stunning game design right here, folks. And the last level boss is a joke. The first part of it is this Diablo wannabe whose attacks either can't even hit you properly or kill you in 3-4 hits, and then you have a boss fight that kills you in 1 hit the moment he starts fighting seriously. So I decided, you know what? Not worth my time and my health, especially considering how much anime I'll have to watch in the next week or so. This game is like genocide. On paper the idea looks good enough and it works well once you try it, but the moment you start thinking about it in any serious fashion, it all just breaks and makes you feel really sad about yourself.